This is Radio Prague International coming to you from the Czech capital.
Hello and welcome. I'm Anna-Marie Regner and you're listening to Czechia in 30 minutes. Coming up on today's program, new steel stage and fan zone to open at Colors of Ostrava Festival. Oldest known beech tree in Czechia found by chance in Beskedy Mountains. At the Czech Technical University in Prague, students can now train on 2 nuclear fission reactors. All that coming up later, but first here are today's top headlines brought to you by Romana Grajcerová.
News.
Concrete results and firm commitments from NATO's European allies will help ease US President Donald Trump's frustration with the alliance, Czech President Petr Pavel told the Wall Street Journal. According to Pavel, the White House chief is growing impatient with allies who offer plenty of promises but little action. Ahead of Wednesday's NATO summit in Ankara, Trump sharply criticized the alliance, arguing that the United States contributes a disproportionately large share of its resources. I believe what makes Donald Trump impatient is hearing a lot of words without seeing any action. Once he sees that things are genuinely changing and that there are concrete results and concrete commitments, his concerns will ease somewhat, Pavel told the Wall Street Journal. According to the newspaper, Europe and Canada hope to reassure the US president by demonstrating renewed determination to make NATO more combat-ready and more lethal. Some European officials, however, are less optimistic than Pavel about the chances of satisfying Trump. The NATO summit in Ankara fulfilled its main purpose by reaffirming the unity of the allies, their commitment to collective defense and continued support for Ukraine, analysts told the Czech news agency. They also highlighted the ongoing strengthening of European defense capabilities as an important outcome of the meeting. According to Vlastislav Bříza from the Faculty of Social Science at Charles University, one of the summit's most significant results was the unanimous reaffirmation of the commitment to collective defense under Article 5 of the North Atlantic Treaty. Pavel Havlíček from the Association for International Affairs said the summit was a positive outcome both for the Czech Republic and for the alliance as a whole, as it did not bring any major disruption despite some of Trump's statements. Opposition parties have given a critical assessment of the first 6 months of Andrej Babiš's government. They accuse the cabinet of creating chaos, failing to deliver on its campaign promises, and interfering with the functioning of the state, though they differ in the issues they emphasize. The Civic Democratic Party, or ODS, has mainly criticized the government's efforts to abolish television and radio license fees, the easing of fiscal responsibility rules, and some of its legislative proposals. The mayors and independents, or STAN, accuse the government of attacking democratic institutions, pursuing problematic security policies, and contributing to an atmosphere of fear in society. The Pirates have focused their criticism primarily on the government's approach to housing, public administration, and support for families. Representatives of the parties told journalists about their views today in the Chamber of Deputies. The unemployment rate in Czechia remained unchanged at 4.8% in June, the same level as in May. The stable figure was supported by ongoing seasonal work and the gradual recovery of the economy. According to Raiffeisen Bank analyst Tereza Krček, the rate is likely to decline only gradually because the labor market is undergoing structural changes. Companies are increasingly looking for workers with specialized skills but struggle to find suitable candidates, while job seekers often cannot retain for these positions quickly enough. Around 75,000 pairs of shoes, clothing, items and accessories from the Vasky and Botas brands were stored in the warehouse of Zlín-based footwear company Vasky in the former Baťa industrial complex in the center of Zlín, where a fire broke out this morning. The goods had a retail value estimated at 150 to 180 million Czech crowns. The warehouse was the company's only central storage facility. A major fire has been burning since this morning. Firefighters declared a special alarm level, the highest of the country's 4 emergency alert levels. Late this morning, a status reserved for extraordinary incidents. According to emergency medical services, no injuries have been reported so far. And now let's look at the weather. Tomorrow we expect clear to partly cloudy skies with temporarily cloudy conditions in the northeastern half of the country and a slight chance of isolated showers. Highs will range between 24 degrees Celsius and 29 degrees Celsius, reaching around 23 degrees Celsius in the north.
Visitors to this year's Colors of Ostrava festival, due to open next week, will be able to explore a brand new venue. Alongside the more laid-back steel stage, organizers are also introducing a new fan zone called Steel Town. Daniela Lazarova has the details.
One of the country's most popular music festivals, Colors of Ostrava, takes place at the Dolní Vítkovice ground, a spectacular former ironworks area in Ostrava in the eastern part of the Czech Republic. The industrial complex is a European cultural heritage site with 16 stages scattered among imposing old blast furnaces, gas holders and historic steel structures. This year, the popular festival is offering visitors a brand new space, a miniature steel city created by artist David Žila, using products and recycled industrial materials supplied by the Třinec Iron and Steel Works. Jaroslav Stebel of the said company, which co-sponsors the festival, says the company is proud to be associated with the event.
We selected 2 rolled steel tram rails for the entrance installation. We were inspired by a photograph of workers standing on a beam, so we wanted to incorporate one of our own products into the festival's photo spot.
After consulting with the artist, the company supplied a range of materials for the new stage, highlighting its own production.
The steel stage will be made from our steel wire products, which account for around 40% of our production. The wires will be illuminated in different ways and will form the central visual element of the stage.
Steel Town gradually took shape in David Žila's workshop. Among sculptures made from chains, gears and pipes stands a large drum kit built from industrial barrels. There will be several different drum sets for 5 drummers to play, and there is also a bar welded entirely from Třinec steel. Žila says the diversity of the components will make the new stage and fan zone truly unique.
They supplied us with leaf springs, chains, large nuts, pipes and many other materials. Everything comes from the steelworks, complemented by smaller metal fragments.
One of the main landmarks of Steel Town will be a large illuminated dome.
It will have 2 towers, one 4 meters high, the other 5. It will have windows and the whole structure will be lit from within, so it should also work as one giant lamp.
The steel stage will mainly host alternative and more intimate performances, including Dutch sister duo Sarah Julia. This year's Colors of Ostrava festival takes place from the 15th to the 18th of July and will feature 110 artists from 33 countries. One of the biggest highlights will be the festival's opening performance by 21 pilots. Headliners include Teddy Swims, Lord and Moby, who last performed in Czechia 17 years ago.
Daniela Lazarova reporting. The oldest known beech tree in Czechia has been identified in the Beskedy Mountains near the country's border with Slovakia. Researchers have determined the tree to be 492 years old, meaning it must have taken root in the early 16th century. Ruth Frankova has more.
The tree was discovered near the village of Velké Karlovice by a team from the Research Institute for Landscape and Ornamental Gardening. The find came as a surprise, as the scientists had been carrying out an entirely different study, explains the head of the research team, forest ecologist Pavel Šamonil.
We were studying how individual trees help stabilize slopes and prevent soil erosion. We selected this tree simply because it seemed like a suitable candidate. And when we took a core sample to determine its age, we discovered, completely by chance, that it was almost 500 years old.
Abychom zjistili, jak je starý, a náhodou jsme zjistili, že je téměř 500 let starý.
The beech is an impressive sight and its size suggests it was unusually old, but size alone can't reveal a tree's true age. To determine exactly how old it was, the researchers extracted a small core sample from its trunk using a special drill. Mr. Chamonil explains how the process works.
Máme takový tenký vrták, který je uvnitř dutý.
We use a very thin hollow drill, which we bore into the trunk all the way to the center. It cuts out a narrow core containing the tree rings. We remove the sample, sand it, smooth it, and analyze each annual ring. Since the tree produces one ring every year, we simply count them to determine its age.
Každý rok a vlastně spočteme jednoduše počty těch letokruhů a zjistíme, že je takhle starý.
According to Mr. Chamonil, the procedure causes only minimal damage and the team treated the tree afterwards to help it heal. Because the sample reached the center of the trunk, they were able to determine its age with a high degree of accuracy. After checking the results twice, the team concluded that the beech is 492 years old, 21 years older than the previous Czech record holder discovered in the Ore Mountains in 2024. The tree has survived the Habsburg monarchy, 2 world wars and centuries of change in the surrounding forests. So what does it take for a beech tree to reach such an exceptional age? Pavel Chamonil says the answer lies in the way it spent its early years.
Ale zároveň z naší zkušenosti, kterou máme i z mnoha...
From our experience in primeval forest reserves, we've learned that for a tree to reach a truly exceptional age, it often has to spend perhaps 200 years growing in the shade beneath much larger trees. Only later does it reach the forest canopy, where sunlight finally reaches it. If a tree reaches the canopy too early, it has to withstand storms and other extreme weather, making it much more likely to be damaged.
Třeba při nějakém výjimečně silném větru.
But for Pavel Chamonil, the discovery is about much more than setting a new age record. Ancient beeches, he says, are a vital link between today's forests and the original woodland that once covered much of the country.
Staré stromy, veteran trees, taky se někdy označují.
Ancient trees are a living link with the original primeval forests. They provide habitat for unique organisms throughout their lives, and even after they die, they become ecosystems in their own right. Trees like this have stood in one place for nearly 500 years, supporting life in ways that simply doesn't happen in managed forests.
A vlastně v těch obhospodařovaných lesích nic takového nenachází.
With a bit of luck, the ancient beech will still be standing in 8 years' time when it reaches its 500th birthday.
Thank you, Ruth Frankova, for that story. Before moving on to our main feature, we have an exciting announcement. Radio Prague International is celebrating its 90th birthday on August 31st. In the run-up to the anniversary, we look back at the history of Czech Radio's international service. This Saturday, June 11th, we are launching the first of our 8-part series focusing on the station's early years. Don't miss it! Czechia has long punched above its weight in nuclear science and engineering. At the Czech Technical University in Prague, students can train on 2 university fission reactors, something few universities in the world can offer. Professor Jan Rataj, the head of the Department of Nuclear Reactors, showed Vít Pohanka around this remarkable facility.
We are Czech Technical University, Department of Nuclear Reactors, and we are operator of the training reactors. Our department is focused mainly on the education and training in the field of nuclear reactors, nuclear engineering and others. And currently we are in the reactor building because we operate not only 1 but 2 nuclear facilities.
Before we go on, and we will have the time to describe what facilities you have here, how did Jan Rataj become head of the nuclear reactor department?
It's a long story because I'm originally from small town, Nad Vltavou, maybe you know. It's really close to a nuclear power plant, Temelín. And when I finished my high school, I decided to continue in the study at the university in nuclear engineering. And I decided to study Faculty of Nuclear Sciences and Physical Engineering at Czech Technical University. And my choice was Department of Nuclear Reactors. And I started at the department as a student, and I used during my study this nice facility, and I stayed here.
This is for audio, this is for podcast. So if you were to describe, what have we got here?
Maybe we can go close,
Yeah, let's
because
walk
it's
around.
much more
Yeah,
better.
definitely.
I would like to show you exactly. This is, we can say this is old one reactor, because as I said, we have two nuclear reactors, two nuclear facilities. This is old one. The old one, it means the construction started in 1985. And for the first time, we reached the criticality in 1990 on December 3rd. It's nice because it was just one day after the Fermi first nuclear reactors and first fission, sustainable fission.
The anniversary
process.
of
Yeah.
that. When was that?
Just
Which
one
year
day.
was it?
It was 1942.
1942. Yeah.
But yeah, just one day.
one day.
And few years, of course, after. And since 1990, this facility is in operation. And what is really nice that the design, it's Czech design, because it was designed by Škoda Nuclear Machinery, and design was made exactly for the education and training purposes, to prepare the future experts for the Czech nuclear program, or originally Czechoslovakia nuclear program.
You know, when you mentioned that, when they started, thinking about this in 1985, still under communism, but already by then we had Dukovany was already operational.
Yeah. I think Dukovany, the first unit was already in operation in 1985.
So I'm just wondering, if you need that for training of experts, where did the Czechs train? In the Soviet Union, or where did they go?
Yeah. Very often they have been in Soviet Union, in research institute, everywhere, and at that time, we had already the research reactors in research institute in Czech.
In Czech,
but in Czech, the power of reactor was higher. It means it was several megawatts, and this type of the reactor is more suitable for the research. For the education and training, it's better if you have lower reactor power. Lower reactor power, because in this type of the reactor, the students can make, we say, hands-on training. They can manipulate with fuel elements. They can manipulate with the samples.
I was just going to ask you, what exactly are they training here for? If you were to explain that to a layperson like me, who studied English and Czech language and literature, what exactly are they doing here?
If you take the students, usually during the courses, they get a lot of theoretical lectures about the reactor physics, reactor behavior, it means reactor dynamics, reactor kinetics. And by this facility, we would like to show practically the theory.
They can really put their hands on it, they can touch it.
They can touch physics. They can do neutron detection, set up the neutron detection systems. They can do measure reactivity. They can predict the critical state of the reactor, how to safely achieve the critical state, everything. They can try to design the new core configuration. And during the experiment, they can assemble the new core configuration, how to do it, how to measure during the assembling of the core configuration and everything. Let's say they can test everything. And also they can control the reactor. They can operate. It's
really
also unique. It's unique.
Of knobs and the, buttons. I mean,
you will see inside. There are several buttons.
But before we go there, so what have we got here?
Okay, I show you.
Two holes.
We are one reactor. It's we call it zero power facility. Zero power. It means that the power of the reactor it's really low. In our case, is 100 watts. Nominally, the maximum power is 500 watts. And if you take that the reactor vessel, the volume of the reactor vessel is 70 cubic meters. And if you have 500 watts in 17 cubic meters, is nothing. It means we don't need to cool the reactor core, we don't produce heat, we don't produce the electricity, nothing. You can use it mainly for the education because you can measure the physics. It means you can measure the neutrons, you can see how behave the reactor, you can see everything, but it's not possible to produce the
electric
heat.
power. You cannot
power.
switch it and start it.
It means it's exactly for the training and education, and on some level, with respect to the power, we can do some research. But the design is exactly for the training and education. This is the reactor vessel, and the design is unique because we have also the second vessel. It's handling vessel. And you can see both vessels are separated by the gate, but we can remove the gate, and it's really good. It's really good design because it's due to radiation protection. Because if we would like to change the core configuration and remove some fuel assemblies, you can remove it under the water.
Right.
And you can store. You can see there are the boxes. You can store in the handling vessel for a short time. And also, if you need to perform the inspection in the reactor vessel, at first you can remove all components, mainly the fuel elements in the boxes in the second vessel, and then you can empty the vessel and make the inspection. And everything we are doing together with the students. We have really very nice 1-week experiments, and during this experiment they remove the fuel elements, and they make the inspection also with the supervisor. They start the assembling of the new core configuration. During this experiment, they measure everything and safely predict the critical state. The critical state, it's important because it's state which you want to reach, because in the critical state, the facility is stable. It means you don't need external neutron source because the fission process is self-sustaining.
Just one question, roughly, if it's possible to quantify, how many students have you got here in Prague?
It's not easy because, of course, I can calculate the number of our students. Let's say for our courses, we have approximately between 30-40 students per year from our department. But also we provide the courses for other universities in Czech Republic, for Brno, or for Pilsen. And we are part of the training program of Czech nuclear power plants. We prepare the new operators. They have here 1-week course. Also, we provide the courses for Slovak nuclear power plants, for reactor physicists. Again, it's 1-week course. And usually for 1-week course, it's approximately 10-12 people per one course. And we provide a lot of courses for foreign universities. We have a lot of universities during the year, let's say 12, 15 1-week courses. And in each course, there are between 10, 15 students. If we calculate together, I think it's 200 students per year. They have some training or education at the reactor.
We can say 200 people, experts who are being prepared here.
And also we use the reactor for promo activities. We have the visitors from high schools, but also other people can come to the reactor.
Like I did. You mentioned your Slovak colleagues who are here right now. I mean, are we talking about Jaslovské Bohunice or are they from university?
Yeah.
Jaslovské Bohunice is the nuclear power plant. Are there any plans for them? I mean, to broaden it or I don't know.
They have to plan to construct the new units. I think they signed some memorandum or some agreement with Westinghouse, and they want to build in Slovak Republic the new unit. It will be the Westinghouse.
Westinghouse technology.
Westinghouse technology, exactly.
I'm sorry, it just came to my mind, even though we are here in Prague. But just one more question about the training. When you mentioned other universities, are we talking European universities, Central European universities, or Indian universities? I don't know.
Different places. Yeah, because we have also some interns. Currently, we have from Singapore. People from Singapore, but usually and periodically we have the people from Finland, Aalto University, from Stockholm. We have from United States, from Tennessee, the university in Tennessee.
The Tennessee Valley Authority, I suppose. Yeah.
From Texas, Austin. We also organize the courses for Slovak, from Europe, from others.
It's okay. You don't have to go into all the details, but from all over the place. Yeah.
For UK. For Defense Academy, for NTEC, it's association of different UK universities, Liverpool, Manchester, and so on, and others. For UK, we offer a lot of
training and courses. Yeah, a lot of capacity. Basically, give them the capacity for training. Do I understand that correctly?
Yeah, exactly.
So. Back to where we are now. Yeah, so we came to this small room.
This is the control room.
Control room.
Of course, if you compare with the nuclear power plant, it's really small. But from this control room, here is sitting the operator, and the operator control the nuclear reactor. And the operator can see here 2 screens, and they are all important information. Currently, the reactor is shut down, of course. We are not now in the operation, but I think after 30 minutes, the operator will start the operation of the reactor. And you can see that is the information about the position of the control rods, reactor power, information about the power measurement system, independent. We have also independent power measurement system, and the operator can communicate with the reactor through the control computer, send some commands, touch the buttons, and safely reach the critical state. And when the operator reach the critical state, he can remove the external neutron source, and that's the important state, because in the critical state, the reactor is in self-sustained regime and self-sustained fission process.
Let me just mention that I had the honor to visit, well, not the control room in Temelín, but the simulator where they were training.
Yeah.
And it definitely is much.
Of course.
There are many more buttons.
Yeah, because there are also some panels from the technology and others, turbines and everything, primary and secondary circuit. Of course, in our case, it's much more simple because, as I said, we don't need to remove by the pumps the heat. It's much more simple. Also, radiation monitoring system, because we have low power. It's much more simple. You can see this is our technological panel. It's really easy because there you have just information about the temperature, water level in different vessels, and some you can see some switches or buttons to control the water management system.
That was Professor Jan Rataj, the head of the Department of Nuclear Reactors at the Czech Technical University, talking to Vít Bohanka. The full version of the interview will be published on Saturday on Czechcast, our podcast in English about all things Czech. That report brings us to the end of our broadcast. I'm Anna-Marie Regner saying thanks for listening and goodbye.